Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us for this historic announcement here this evening. As many of you know, we've been in sort of a holding pattern in regards to officially kicking off this promised new era here in TWFC, as the final few pieces of the puzzle were ironed out behind the scenes. Construction on our brand new TWFC arena is almost finished, and we expect to unveil the history-making site sometime next week when we host the much-anticipated TWFC Live Super Show. Now, while this promises to be a monumental night for our company as we celebrate the very first event live from the arena that will be host to the future of our industry, this is just one of many huge events coming up for the wrestling figure cartel. So that brings me to our next big announcement. At WrestleMania, in preparation for this fresh restart of the company, we made history by unifying all major championships. This created the first ever 100% unified, undisputed championship, which serves as the biggest prize in our industry. But with a fresh new era comes a need for fresh new championships to fill out the divisions for the largest roster in the history of our sport. Furthermore, the need for a huge premium live event to not only crown new champions, but celebrate the grand reopening of the wrestling figure cartel. So 65 days from now, we present an event so huge, it will take an entire week of festivities to begin and conclude this event. The entire TWFC Wrestleverse will celebrate the dawning of the new era with the first premium live event in the new arena, WrestleFest. An entire festival of professional wrestling at its finest. An entire week's worth of action featuring the biggest mega matches possible. This historic event will serve as the grand arrival of the wrestling figure cartel's brand new cutting-edge way of presenting professional wrestling while celebrating the success and continuation of our industry. Inside and outside of the ring, this event will be bigger and better than anything we've ever presented since unifying the largest companies in our sport, thus creating the TWFC Wrestleverse. Now I could go on and on about how huge this event will be for our company, from in-ring action to sponsorships and so much more that will truly make WrestleFest a one-of-a-kind historic event. But you'll hear all about the details over the next few weeks, and right now I have one final big announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, after a decade and a half of retirement, a man whose name is synonymous with the main event, a man who's been called one of the greatest of all time by all of the greatest of all time, soon to be stepping into a TWFC ring for the first time ever, my best friend, the icon, the showstopper, the main event, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Wow, what an introduction. First of all, I want to say thank you to the man responsible for all the big things happening around here, my longtime best friend, Triple H. Love him or hate him, you can't deny that he's working hard to take TWFC to the next level. Now, there's so much going on to be excited about here in our industry, but I guess the big question everyone is probably wondering right now is, why now? After a decade and a half away from the ring and countless dream scenarios turned down by yours truly, why is now the time for old HBK to finally lace the boots up one final time? And the answer is actually quite simple. Sitting in the back and watching the amazing talent week in and week out bust their asses to make TWFC the absolute place to be for professional wrestling, it got me excited in a way I haven't been excited about this business for years, but it also made me ask myself an uncomfortable question. And that question is, could the Heartbreak Kid still be the main event if he was competing against the best roster this industry has ever known here in TWFC? And after months of asking myself that question, after even more months of the hardest training of my lifetime, I'm standing here live tonight to announce we're getting ready to find out. Now I want to make something very clear about this. I honestly don't know what this is going to turn into. I'm not saying I'm coming out of retirement for one final run, but I'm also not saying that I'm not. The only thing I can promise is at least one final match. Maybe that turns into something more, maybe it doesn't. All I can do is guarantee that I bring the absolute best version of the Heartbreak Kid you've ever seen and give it 100% in that ring. The rest will happen however it was meant to happen. We still have 60-something days of training left, and the decision as to whom I will face has been left completely up to me. All I know right this second is come WrestleFest, we're tuning up the band one more time, and it's going to be the biggest test of my career. Thank you.